Yo, this is going to be another bug video. So today I'm with another Gigit chat. His name is Trickster. Hello.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Okay, nice. Gotta say, feels good to have another rogue enjoyer. Not the only one.
Always, always.
So it's actually the reason why I'm doing this project. He actually did most of the work here, so please giving some love. Please subscribe to his channel if it's not already the case. So this video is gonna showcase every single bug that we could find through testing, bug reports, and also basically like community knowledge. Yeah, so let's go into the generic bugs. So the first bug that I'm gonna talk about is the projectile area collision. So as you know, with the online, there's been like a lot of projectiles that were bugged, like for example, umbral blades going out of the map, stuff with like the map called Ritual Lake that was eating like projectiles and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of example for that. We also have, yeah, go ahead.
It's probably also important to note that it's just not related to Rogue in general. I mean, also like hammer throw or like skills from other
It's
classes
basically
are
every
also affected by
projectile.
this. Exactly, yeah.
We have also auto aim. So they introduced auto aim a few patches ago. I believe it was before the 0.9 online patch, right?
It was during CT testing in February, yeah, open testing.
Yeah, and it basically like destroys certain mechanics, like Sucker Punch Arrow when you have like high density zone. Yeah, can you explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's just basically like destroys more like the gameplay feeling. Like normally what you want to do is you want the projectile directly going to the position that you are aiming to, but basically now the projectile like auto shoots directly to the enemy that you actually don't aim to, and this sometimes, as Tarek said, with Sucker Punch destroys completely the gameplay or like damage output. So some skills really got affected by this change, and like just the general immersion of like aiming just feels really bad now for marksman.
Yeah.
But I also put like a forum post out for someone who is more interested in this. You can read through it. I linked the post also in a document, so
Yeah, by the
should be
way,
everything explained
there's
there.
going to be like a document in the description. I forgot to talk about that. There's going to be a document with everything that we're talking about. And I'm probably going to do like I did for the Rune Master, like a Reddit post, just to attract more visibility on those issues. So yeah, then there is also a problem, like this is more specific to Rogue, to charge version of skills. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yep, it's pretty much puncture and detonating arrow. I mean, I think most of the players don't even play charged version just because of that problem right now. So it just, in general, it feels very clunky. Maybe you can just show it real quick how puncture, for example, looks. Like just the whole feeling, the projectiles are not in sync with the charge. If you like double click it, you get pretty much stuck. Yeah, as you can see now on the screen, and you need to shift to get out of it. So it's really weird to play. And in general, we know that standing still in ARPGs is not the best case. But if you already, or if you also have not like a good visual on top of it, then I mean you don't even want to play it. It just looks really bad. And I think most of the charge or channeled skills, they should need like an overhaul maybe to look better.
Yeah, the charge skill always had problem also with the mana costs and stuff. Okay, another bug is gonna be like some allies or minions can block your projectile. So for example, Ballista is gonna hit all my flurry arrows, but I can go through it with puncture, for example.
Yeah, this makes sense because it can pierce.
Yeah,
exactly. But you cannot show it right now because you're a Bladedancer, but detonating arrow can also not go through Ballista. But the weird part is that Cinder Strike cannot pierce, so Cinder Strike should actually like feel the same way as detonating arrow, but Cinder Strike like goes through the target. And the main issue is when you play co-op, for example. So if you have a party of 3 more players, and you play, I don't know, multi-shot, and your 3 noobs are standing in front of you, but you cannot like shoot the target because all the projectiles are getting like bounced off by the players. Yeah, it's a very bad feeling, and this should be fixed immediately. Otherwise, like co-op with a marksman again is pretty awkward to play.
Yeah. A small bug is going to be with chance to shred that can appear when you craft bows. You actually cannot craft on bows. Like if you select it when you're crafting bow, it's not going to do anything. Another bug is going to be any skill that requires dual wielding. So for example, dancing strikes. See, it requires dual wielding. If I'm not dual wielding, it's gonna bug me out. Like I cannot move. It's basically the same kind of bug with like the charge skills. It locks you in place. Let me show you with only one. It doesn't do anything. And another small bug, which is pretty generic, is your shadows icon in the bottom left. If you switch areas when you have that icon, it's not gonna reset in the next area. You're still gonna see them.
That's not like a big bug, but it basically just shows you like a wrong appearance. So even if you're in the next zone,
it's like a visual bug. It doesn't doesn't really matter.
It maybe shows you that you have 3 shadows up, even though they're in the zone from before. It's not a big thing because you can just override it once you click, I don't know, sync strike again, for example. It's just like a tool, or like an icon bug, or visual bug.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk about passives. So in the passive tree, the basic rogue passive tree, there is this node called Coated Blades that gives more damage and increase the mana cost of skills that cost mana. So it does work correctly, but it doesn't show the mana increase on the tooltip. So that's it for rogue. If you go on the marksman, yeah, you can explain that one.
Exactly. This one is actually pretty big. I mean, the node works, but only if you put 1 point into it. So if you put the point into it, this non-elemental bow attack generation works. So for example, with skills like flurry or puncture, you can generate those elemental arrows. But I think like a year ago, they actually buffed the node with the damage increase, like the 25% per point. But every point after the first point you put in doesn't work. And I tested this with Hail of Arrows. So basically at the end, we miss 175% increased damage.
Yeah, that's a lot.
With skills like Hail of Arrows or Detonating Arrow, which is huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a bit fucked up.
Okay. So that was the only one for Marksman. And in Bladedancer, so Bladedancer, the first one, Apostasy, which is a bug only in online, as far as I know. So it should like convert your dodge chance to glancing blow. But when you spec into that, it's not gonna reflect in the character sheet. Doesn't work basically. There's also a bug with the flow stacks. So this is a particularity of flow. So you generate flow whenever you use a unique skill, and then you consume the flow on the force skill. However, when you use a dungeon ability, it's also going to consume the flow stacks.
Yeah, this is a weird bug. It's really weird.
And you told me they also generate flow?
Yeah, you can do the same thing. For example, in Temporal Sanctum, if you use the temporal shift, then you can see that your flow stacks are going up, or you consume them. Yeah.
If you play around it, maybe it's like beneficial actually.
No, or it can also fuck up your damage output.
Yeah.
So it's pro or con probably.
You have like a build only for dungeon where you rely on dungeon ability.
That'll be the new S tier build coming soon.
Then there is the perfection stacks. So that node right here, whenever you use a melee ability and it hits at least one enemy, you generate a perfection stack. You lose all the perfection stack when you get hit. However, we found that when you use shadow daggers, the generation is a bit weird. Like basically it works for the first one, and then all the subsequent one doesn't work. Like it doesn't generate any stacks. So we don't really know if it's intended to generate stacks because it says when you use a melee attack, whereas like it's a proc, like Shadow Dagger is a proc. It's like a direct attack.
Yeah, it's just probably fucked up because it's an ailment.
Yeah,
that might be the problem.
And then there is the Spellbreaker, this one, which says it only works with melee hits, but it also works with bow and throwing attacks. So yeah, that's pretty much it for passive tree.
I hope they leave it like this. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Then we have the uniques. So the first one, maybe you can go through over the uniques actually. I think you tested those.
Sure. Not much actually. I just tested Serial's Hunt, like the quiver that no one plays. It's just the haste duration that I tested. Like it says that it's 2 seconds, but in like actually it's just only 1 second uptime.
It's like the lightning pen quiver, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The one where you have to play bow and like throwing attacks.
Exactly.
Right.
So the damage, the numbers work, but it's just like the haste duration is not 2 seconds. It's just 1 second uptime.
Okay.
And Jalkers, there's, I mean, I don't know if it's really a bug, but it's just like weird to play around it because there's this minus mana cost that you have on Jalkers, but there are some hidden, how do you say it in English? Decimal values?
Yeah.
The numbers behind the comma.
Yeah.
And for example, if you get 2 Jalkers, or if you duel with 2 Jalkers with -4, and detonating arrow by default costs 8 mana, it doesn't mean automatically that you have like a 0 mana cost detonating arrow. It can be that there's a decimal where
So
it only puts it to 1 mana cost, for example.
It's rounded up to 4,
exactly,
but it's not like 4, okay?
Exactly, because once I found like another Jelko that had 4, and I was like, okay, finally I can have like a 0 mana cost detonating arrow because I want to abuse Sapping Strike, but then at the end I only had 1, so that's why I found it out.
I see.
And also the change that they did for 9.2, the weapon range was, yeah, still too small, no big impact. So I think they still need to overlook this weapon again.
So you want it to attack from further away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the best way to just improve the unique is by implementing like a puncture animation, because you have way more range, and the current animation, first of all, looks shit, and second of all, you just need to face tank enemies, and it's just way too dangerous to play as a marksman like this.
Okay.
And the last one is just like a fun fact. I mean, I just played around with when you have the singularity unique idol that like disables crit. There's like a node for Sing Strike called Cutthroat, which always lets synchronized strike crit, and this actually works even though you have the idol equipped. But for example, Shadow Daggers, they will not crit even though the tooltip says that Shadow Daggers can crit. So it's just a little like fun fact. Okay, there's one thing that works and the other thing doesn't work. I don't know what's the code behind it, but yeah, just a fun little side thing.
Okay. Now we're gonna go into the skills. So we are gonna do first the rogue skills. So in the rogue skills, the first one that we're gonna talk about is Shuriken. So Shuriken, whenever you use Blade Shield, which makes your Shuriken travel around you, the circle around you, it basically makes your Shuriken disappear. You see, I'm using it right now. It doesn't generate any Shurikens. You can maybe see like one frame where you see the Shurikens where you aim, like in front of you. But yeah, they don't get generated, and it's also worse because bladed armor, which gives you increased armor per shuriken spinning it around you. Since you have no shurikens, you don't get the increased armor, and this is like something that is used in a lot of builds.
Yep.
Also another bug. By the way, if you respec, let me respec. You're still not gonna fire any shurikens. Still gonna be bugged. Another bug is going to be with shift. So you see on shift, you can generate shurikens whenever you use shift, and they target nearby enemies. However, if you make the shurikens travel around you, or if you make them a chakram, they are not gonna automatically target the enemy. It's just gonna be like in the direction, they're just gonna be thrown in the direction where you use your shift. Yeah. Then we have puncture. So what's bug on puncture? So there's the bleak stacks, yeah. The mutilate node. This makes you consume the bleak stacks and gives you health per stack consume. It also deals the damage instantly. And what it does is that when you spec into it first, the first time that you're going to use it is going to work correctly. See? But then you lose any bleed buff that you have on the skill. Like, you just have the 30% base chance to inflict bleed chance on hit. Inflict bleed on hit, sorry. You see, I don't generate any bleed most of the time. Like, okay, there is one here. But basically, this disable bleed. You also have another small bug, I would say. So rapid strike. Rapid strikes. So this one gives you an attack speed buff. Basically, that buff icon, it doesn't go away when you change areas.
It even doesn't go away if you relog into the game. So the shadow icons, they will disappear if you relog, but the rapid strike buff will always show up. Even if you like shut the computer off, go in again, it will remember your last session.
Okay, yeah. Then we have smoke bomb. Smoke bomb. Where is the frailty? Remember, where's the frailty?
Like in the middle, right side, in the middle.
And feel. Oh yeah, this one. So this one is only gonna apply for the first time that you use smoke bomb, and every other cast after that is not gonna apply frailty basically. It's kind of the same as shuriken only working, not shurikens. Puncture working only the first time. We also have, so this one I need to show you guys. Hasty combustion.
I think no one plays it like this, but at least we show it.
Yeah. So this makes your, oh, okay, this is, why is it bugged?
Yeah, it's because we already like, played before.
Yeah.
But it's fine to explain it like this.
Yeah, so basically you would put your points in here in hasty combustion, which makes your the smoke bomb ignite every time you leave early the smoke bomb. However, it's completely bugged and it ignites instantly whenever you use smoke bomb.
Yeah, once you put the point into this, it basically like destroys the whole mechanic. Like usually before you push a smoke bomb, it takes a couple of seconds until it disappears, and then the enemies will get ignited.
Yeah,
but
and you need,
once you spec into this node, then it drops instantly.
Yeah. You need to respec and then relog to be able to work it again.
Yep.
Another fun one. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna work with the other bug. Actually, so you have this node that makes you able to target the bomb, but you need a bow. And basically, what it does, it doesn't work with the other bug. Nice.
Now we broke the game.
Okay, I found another bug.
Put it on the list.
Okay, yeah, that works. Working. So, you see, it basically makes a very small area instead of making like a regular area that expand. It's just like it's super compact.
Yeah, it should be way bigger.
Yeah, it
like
should be way bigger and should expand too. That node right here. Also, one small aspect to the skill that doesn't work. Holding Alt for more information doesn't work anywhere. Doesn't do anything here. It works just fine for any other skill. Okay. Let's talk about Shift. So that node, Unseen Strike, it says if using a melee weapon, it's going to perform an Unseen Strike. It also works with range, like a bow, for example. You also have Dancing Shadows that works with a bow. And by the way, this working with the bow also makes it the kill threshold, because it's linked to Unseen Strike.
Yeah, it's pretty much all the skills.
Yeah,
on top
Shadow Dagger,
enabled.
the slow, etc. Everything that depends on Unseen Strike does work with the bow.
To be honest, I don't know if it's intended. It's a tooltip error, but I like it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a cool way to get like kill thresholds. I hope they leave it like this. But yeah, it's a wrong tooltip at the moment.
Yep. There's also like a snapshotting bug with dancing shadows that we're gonna talk about in the Shadow Cascade. But yeah. Yeah. Then you can show bug about Cinder Strike.
Marksman Skills. Yeah, sure. Okay, let me show you the Cinder Strike bugs. Right now, so basically the first attack is not working. So once you attack it here, you see no damage number on top. Like, probably you see all the ignite numbers, but every first attack there's no number like showing up, and this pretty much disables all the nodes behind it. So no overexertion, no flame alchemist, nothing is working up here. Yeah, so pretty much only usable as a support skill at the moment. Flurry is a big one. I cannot show it because it usually takes a little bit longer to show it off, because it relies on some buffs like Arrow Storm here in the Marksman passive tree. So basically the longer your play session is, the crazier your attack speed is gonna be if you go with Channel Flurry. This is a widely known bug already. I hope they will fix it soon, because most of the people, like especially like new players, they think this is normal as the Flurry version. But once they
ethical
fix it,
build, by the way.
yeah, once they fix it, probably all the players will be like, okay, this build is shit, and they will never play it again. So it's gonna be really important to fix this before 1.0, I think. Otherwise, yeah, this will be like a big.
Reminds me of the bug with increased like attack speed with channeled flurry.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember?
Exactly. I think they have some problems with the channel version and in general, or with Flurry, because there's some weird attack speed buffs and whatever, and snapshotting. No clue. It's definitely a mess right now in online. But yeah, the next one is Acid Blast. It's this node over here that I already spec'd into it, the global poison chance. So what it does, let me show you real quick. You have to put the character sheet out to see it. So if I stand on top of this one, I will not get any poison chance, and yeah, basically it will also not buff your skills with it. So this node right here is not working. For decoy, just unspec this one real quick. It's this node right here that is a little bit bugged. So normally you have to, okay, there's a cooldown on top of it. Normally you throw the decoy, and then the second cast is something that you do to detonate the decoy. But at the moment, it's still the same like functionality as normal decoy. So I throw it and it will explode automatically, even though I have this one here on the skill bar. So every time I click it, it will not do anything. So this node on top of here is completely useless now. And the last one, this is something that the devs already talked about. It's not a big thing, but this tripwire, they basically disabled the tripwire because they were not happy with the visual. So they just removed it, and hopefully we will see something new in 1.0. For the Marksman skills, for Dark Quiver, I realized that there are only like visual bugs. I mean, I think pretty much every node works. But sometimes if you pick up a black arrow for Dark Quiver, the black arrow is still on the ground, and this sometimes like a little bit messes up. It depends a little bit how you play. If you look down on your toolbar, if you look just on the middle of the screen, for example, I always look on the screen. I don't need to look down on the tooltip because I know which buffs are usually on. But sometimes I run over it and I'm thinking like, okay, did I pick it up or not? So this messes a little bit like the gameplay feeling.
That's pretty important, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's like exactly like the gameplay immersion that you basically have. And what I also realized is if you have more like arrows next to each other, and I probably cannot show it right now. No, it's not working. But normally you can also pick up two of them just visually, but you will not, of course, get the double effect. So it's just Dark Quiver is just most of all like a visual bug at the moment. Detonating arrow, the only thing that is a little bit fucked up now is the the cone, which always faces the direction of the point of view of the enemy. There's a funny part actually, because this bug was already there like once, I don't know, maybe even before 0.9. But also Dragon Song, which I have equipped right now, was affected by it. So now it's only the cone of detonating arrow, but you can see that Dragonfire is shooting in the right direction, where also detonating arrow's cone should go to. And because of this new auto aim shit, let's call it like this, this node mana arrow, no, sorry, not mana arrow, this one, the navigator's shot, which makes detonating arrow home. This will not work anymore. I tested it on Monolith, and you cannot see that the arrow is home anymore. It's just this auto aim that I show you right here. So normally, this is an enemy. This one here is not an enemy. This one always follows my mouse, which is completely fine. But here, it's basically all about the hitbox, and yeah, this is basically destroying the whole.
Doesn't make any sense anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this node really doesn't make any more sense. They should remove it or remove the auto aim for detonating arrow to make this node like functional again. It's really weird concept. I don't get this, but yeah, it is what it is. And the last one is multi-shot, and the only thing that I basically tested out was where's multi-shot here? This node point blank, which is a huge damage multiplier. When you're standing close to enemies, normally you take this one with Giant Slayer, where you can hit one enemy with multiple projectiles, which is like a huge single target buff, of course. But there's also like a downside with the less hit damage to far away targets. I tested it, and I didn't see any difference with the number. So basically, this point blank is just a straight up buff.
Hey.
It's super weird. I really tested it with. Exactly. I tested it with Singularity to make it a little bit easier to see the numbers, because crits sometimes can get huge numbers, and it was really easy to test with all armor buffs, armor shred buffs and everything. It was always the same number, and I tested this for like half an hour. It was always the same. So this node is just straight up buff right now.
Okay, then I'm gonna talk for the end about the Bladedancer skills. So first of all, Dance and Strike. Dancing Strikes. What is bugged? So Rhythm, this node right here. So whenever you use Dancing Strikes and it hit at least one enemy, it generates stacks. However, like everything that hit enemies at the same time is gonna mess up the rhythm generation. Like for example, if you make Umbral Blade spin and they hit enemy at the same time, it's gonna mess up the generation. There's also gonna be the shuriken that travel around you, if you make them travel around you. Like all of those, they mess up the generation. You also have this node, Resolute Technique, which says that whenever you use Dancing Strike, each time you use it, it's going to increase the damage of Lethal Mirage and Synchronized Strikes. If you up to a number of time if you use it recently, and it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. Doesn't give you any damage. So yeah,
classic.
Nice. This node doesn't exist basically. It's a mirage. Then we have Lethal Mirage. Okay. Big transition. So when you use, where is it? Do I have it? Well, I don't know if I have the weapon. It's a sword. I think I have the weapon. Let me find it.
Gladiator, you mean? Yeah.
Gladiator, yeah. Yeah, I have it here.
Sweet.
So when you use Gladiator Oath, which is going to give you 100% base melee crit chance whenever you are in Dancing Strike Fighting Arena. So Dancing Strike Fighting Arena is here. This node. I'll show you. Whenever you are in this arena, okay, I'm not dual wielding, so nice. By the way, whenever I'm in this arena, you see I have like 138% melee crit chance. Like this is absurd because it's like plus 100% base melee crit. But for not synchronized strike, lethal mirage, sometimes, like not all the times, but most of the time, it's not gonna make your lethal mirage crit. Like it's really weird. But if you build crit on your lethal mirage, it's gonna crit like all the time. If you have a 100% base, like crit that you scaled like legit, I'll say. Let's call it like that way. It's gonna crit all the time. But this, not all the time. Like see, like
yeah.
Then in synchronized strike. Okay, let me respec. We have Crimson Storm. So this one, it says that increase the Crimson Shroud duration per point, but what it does is not increasing the duration, but the number of stacks that you get. So let's look at it.
Yeah, it's pretty much just another tooltip error because Crimson Shrouds is always on 3-second duration, which is on the bottom, but
now
each stack just applies one stack basically.
Exactly. So last but not least, Shadow Cascade. So we have what is it? Shadow Flourish. Flourish, where is it? This one, which increase your physical damage if you hit at least 4 enemies. So they should be, in theory, 4 different enemies. But if you have only one enemy, for example a boss, you can actually proc that buff with the shadows. So let's say I use Synchronized Strike. And then, oh, I need to spec into more shadows.
More,
yeah. Oops. And then Shadow Cascade. Okay, maybe I need to use it here more. I'm not getting it.
You can make it a little bit closer, but it works. If there's one node in Sync Strike where the shadows appear a little bit closer, so if everyone is basically overlapping, so that all 4 hits can hit the target.
It's hard to set up.
You will get.
I was getting it.
Do you still have enough points for the one on the right side? Go to Sync Strike real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, you only have 2 more. Yeah, okay, it's the one on the right with 1 point. This one, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like. Basically, if the shadows overlap with your hit, then also you get this buff. So it doesn't rely on the amount of enemies. It's just the amount of attacks basically that you need to apply this buff. If, for example, Tarek now just casts Shadow Cascade once by himself, then it doesn't work. If he does it on the dummies below, where there are more dummies, then it works correctly. But the shadows can basically bypass this whole mechanic. This is pretty much the point. So shadows against bosses, and you have increased physical.
I didn't have points in it, that's why.
Ah.
Okay, nice. Okay, here you see the increased damage, the increased physical damage. I mean, if I use it like let's say 4 times, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now it works.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Last bug on Shadow Cascade. So basically, this is linked to what I was saying with Shift snapshotting Shadow Cascade. So the Shadow Cascade procced from Shift is always going to snapshot the damage multipliers from the last Shadow Cascade that you used. So if I use, for example, Shadow Cascade with like this node that increased, gives it more damage per shadow. Like if you have a set amount of shadow, I mean. So with like 4 points, like 100% more. And then I proc it through Shift. Then it's with the Shift one is gonna have like the same amount of damage as the previous one. So yeah, that shouldn't happen. Yeah, that's pretty much all the bugs that we found. If you have any bugs that we haven't listed here, please feel free to tell them in the comments. I'm gonna add them to the list, to the document. And yeah, thank you, Trickster.
You're welcome. That was quite a lot, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of bugs in the game, but yeah. Happy to help. That was really cool.
Reading through all the bug reports since 0.9. Oh my god, that was
That's
such a pain.
quite a long time. Yeah. How many days did we do? I don't know.
It took two or 3 days, but
we need to get paid for this shit.
We're being sorry, the QA team of ESG. Sorry guys, we're taking your job. By the way, if there's ESG like seeing this video and still looking at this video, please on report a bug, make like different section, even on the forums for like which type of bug it is. Like I don't know if it's like a marksman bug, a Bladedancer bug, a rogue bug. Because looking for bugs for a rogue, like on the forums especially, there was literally nobody putting a tag. It was a nightmare. I was reading every single title one by one. Like, please. Oh my god. Or I don't know, if it's on the forum, make it like a requirement to put a tag or something. Because like nobody was using tags.
Yep, that's good feedback.
Anyway, thank you for watching the videos, and see you soon. Thank you, Trickster.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.